Can you speak to, for a moment, to the political concerns of vulnerable Republicans if Obamacare, health care, these subsidies aren't addressed in some form going into 2026?
Well,
the president's talking about affordability. The president's talking about affordability. What happens to your side if you don't address this?
Well, and so are we, and which is why the proposal we will put out there will actually drive premiums down. And that is in stark contrast to, as Senator Barrasso just pointed out, a program that since its inception has increased costs, premiums in the individual marketplace 221%. That is triple the CPI and double what the rates have increased in the group market, the employer market, where a lot of people, about 150 million Americans, get their insurance. This is a failed program, and it does nothing but drive premiums up. And the increase in premiums, who's that going to? That's going to the insurance companies. So the proposal we'll put out there will bring insurance premiums down. It will be fiscally responsible, and it'll get us away from the practice of giving the money all to the insurance companies and put it back in the hands of the patients. So there will be something out there that Republicans will be able to talk about and support and vote for, and then we'll see. I mean, what happens on Thursday? Maybe there's some wise Democrats who will decide to vote for a proposal like that. But if there aren't, if neither proposal gets 60, then we'll see where it goes from there. But I do know that we want this issue, affordability, to be front and center. And the way to do that is not to extend for 3 years at a cost of $83 billion to the taxpayers a program that continues to drive insurance costs, premiums higher and higher for the American people.
On these Venezuelan boat strikes, a number of your members this morning said they would support releasing the video of that September 2nd strike publicly. Would you personally support that?
Well, I'm happy with what they are doing. I think they are, the relevant committees, as I've said before, the Armed Services Committee, both Democrats and Republicans have had an opportunity to view that video. How they decide to proceed with it, I'll leave to their, to their discretion. But I think anybody who probably wants to, any member who wants to see that, I suspect probably would have that opportunity if they choose to.
Given the uncertainty of the tariffs with the Supreme Court decision potentially overturning them, does it make sense for the president to turn to those tariffs, that tariff revenue, to pay for farm aid, and tariff revenue goes into the federal treasury? Isn't it the Congress's power to spend that tariff revenue as it sees fit?
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who've been following farm policy for a long time, which I have, I've been through 4 farm bills. The one we're working on right now that got derailed, but we got a lot of it included in the reconciliation bill last summer, would have been my 5th. And throughout the years, there have been attempts, and obviously this is the most recent one, to deal with tremendous losses that are being experienced in the agricultural marketplace, in this case because of a loss of markets. And that is related to some of the trade issues that we're dealing with. The president's obviously trying to get the attention of the Chinese, get us into a better place in terms of reciprocity with them. But in the meantime, it has an impact on the markets that a lot of our agricultural producers have access to. So to me, it makes all the sense in the world that if you've got a lot of revenue coming in from tariffs, and you need sort of a bridge for farmers. A lot of the changes that we made in last summer in the reconciliation bill don't take effect until next year, and the farmers, the safety net programs, will benefit from those. In the meantime, to have something that helps them bridge that time when they've had this loss of markets and are experiencing historically low commodity prices and historically high input prices. The margins in agriculture are gone. And I say that for corn and soybeans, other commodities, but those two in particular are where we've seen a real impact. And I think the administration's trying to respond to that and ensure that the farmers get to a time where we have that market is opening up again, China's opening up again. So hopefully this will be a bridge to the future. But I think what the administration did in terms of using tariff revenue to do that makes sense.
Just on the Venezuelan boat strike again, I know you say that all your members have access to that video, but they're coming out with a dramatically different interpretation of that video. Isn't that one of the reasons for the administration to be transparent and release the video for all Americans to see?
Well, look, I think, again, I think that the relevant committees here on Capitol Hill, that has been made available to them. And I'm going to leave it up to them to decide who has access to it. But as I said before, I think any member of Congress And certainly people are going to come up with different interpretations because we live in a political environment. And, but I suspect that anybody who has seen it knows pretty clearly what the facts are. And I'll leave it at that. I think that the relevant committees will make decisions about who has access to it.
Back on healthcare, does Cassidy Crapo have unanimous support in your conference? And some of your members have also put forth temporary 2-year extensions of the ACA with changes with hide language with other reforms. Might those come to a vote as well?
Well, we have other members, as you point out, who have their own proposals, and they, you know, you have to ask them how they want to have those dealt with. But I suspect you may see others advanced, other ideas advanced, and whether or not those get voted on, I think, is going to be probably up to some of our colleagues who are offering those proposals. What I can tell you is, as a conference, our members, and I can't say 100%, but I think for the most part, I would argue are united behind the Crapo Cassidy proposal, which, as I said, in terms of its emphasis, is about patients, not insurance companies, and about lowering premiums, not increasing them, and about getting a better return for the federal taxpayer. Thank you all.